Congratulations, gentlemen. Mr. Tongue, you were asked about some of the things you said back in college. And one of the things that you were asked about was a statement you made in 2004. I believe that women are simply better than men at some things. Did you say that?
I did say that, Senator.
You said that you believe that women are better at some things, right?
That's right, Senator.
You didn't say women are worse at some things, did you?
I did not say that, Senator.
Just want to be sure I understand. How is that denigrating women?
It was not denigrating women, and I did not intend it to be so, Senator.
Yeah. I mean, you said they're better at some things. If you said they were worse at some things, you would be denigrating women, wouldn't you?
I would, Senator.
I don't know if I asked you this, but you didn't say they could do things worse. You said better, right? Just want to be sure I understand.
That's right, Senator.
Does government have free speech rights?
Government does have free speech rights.
How so? The First Amendment doesn't mention government, except to the extent that government, it is there to protect, for us to have protection against government restricting our speech. How can government have free speech?
Senator, you are right to the extent that the First Amendment refers to Congress. Congress shall not make any law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. But there is a government speech doctrine that allows the government to convey a political message it wishes to, and the government is not committed to a policy of neutrality at all times.
Have you ever been to Boston?
I have been to Boston.
Okay. You seen the Boston City Hall?
I believe I have, Senator.
There's a plaza in front, and there's some flagpoles. And Boston, when different groups are having protests or demonstrations or rallies on the plaza, allows those groups to fly their flag. Someone wanted to fly a Christian flag, and the city of Boston said no. And the Supreme Court and the city of Boston said, that's our choice. That's government speech. We don't want to fly a Christian flag. So how come the Supreme Court said that they had to fly the Christian flag if government has free speech?
Senator, if the government opens up its plaza to all comers, so to speak, then it's restricted under the public forum doctrine in terms of what viewpoints it would decide to favor or not.
That's not necessarily so, is it, Counselor? I mean, let's suppose Texas, this actually happened. Someone in Texas lets people buy specialty license plates. You know, I love little warm puppies and stuff like that. You can buy a specialty license plate. And somebody wanted to have a specialty license plate that pictured the Confederate flag. And Texas said no.
Welcome to Capitol Pulse, your home for clear, sharp, and grounded analysis from inside America's most powerful rooms. Today, we break down a Senate exchange that reveals much more than the words spoken on the record. The hearing begins with a surprisingly soft topic, a remark the nominee, Mr. Tongue, made back in college. Women are simply better than men at some things. Senator John Kennedy, known for his laconic but incisive interrogation style, uses the statement as an early probe. His approach is deliberate. He makes the nominee confirm, repeatedly, that he said women were better, not worse. The tone is almost playful, yet the intention is pure strategy, testing the nominee's steadiness, forcing him to commit to his own phrasing, and watching how he manages public scrutiny of past statements. Once Kennedy is convinced the nominee won't wobble, the exchange shifts sharply. What follows is a constitutional stress test on one of America's most complicated legal questions. Can the government itself claim free speech rights? The nominee steps carefully. Government, he explains, does have the ability to express certain messages. Kennedy immediately challenges this premise. The First Amendment restricts government, not citizens. If the Constitution shields people from governmental censorship, how can the government itself enjoy a right it is meant to regulate? The nominee invokes a government speech doctrine, a legal principle allowing governments to promote their own messages without needing to amplify opposing ones. For a moment, the explanation holds. But Senator Kennedy, armed with real cases, pushes the nominee deeper into the murk. He points to Boston City Hall, where different groups routinely fly their flags during events. A Christian group requested to fly its flag. The city refused, claiming it would constitute government speech. Yet the Supreme Court ruled Boston must fly it. If government has free speech, Kennedy asks, why did Boston lose? The nominee replies, because Boston had created an open forum by allowing private groups regular access to the flagpole. Once government opens a public space to all viewpoints, it cannot discriminate against one.
And the Supreme Court said Texas doesn't have to do it, government speech. So isn't that inconsistent with what you just said?
Senator, it is not inconsistent. This area of law is extremely complicated when something qualifies as a public forum such that viewpoint discrimination might not be allowed versus a public benefit and public conditions that the government can rightly impose on others, on its recipients. Then that shades into government speech, in which case the government would have more control over what kind of speech gets projected into the public square. But there is potential for tension there between the two doctrines that you raised, Senator.
The chairman's going to gavel me to shut up in a second. I just want to be sure I understand. Back at Yale, you said there are some things that women are better at, right?
Yes, Senator.
Not worse.
That's right.
Better.
Yes, Senator.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Whitehouse.
Kennedy counters with Texas. The state sells specialty license plates, some whimsical, some political. A driver requested a Confederate flag plate. Texas refused. This time, the Supreme Court sided with the state, ruling that license plates count as government speech. States can decide what messages they're willing to display. Isn't this, Kennedy suggests, inconsistent? The nominee insists it is not. The line between public forum and government expression is context-dependent, often blurred and deeply complex. Boston's flagpole functions like a public stage. Texas's license plates function like official state identification. These differences matter. The nominee acknowledges a doctrine has tension built into it, yet insists that courts must navigate that tension case by case. This is the heart of the hearing. Constitutional nuance laid bare under bright lights. A senator probing not just legal knowledge, but the nominee's agility and confidence under pressure. The nominee, for his part, stays methodical, neither rattled nor evasive. As the chairman signals that time is nearly up, Senator Kennedy circles back to the beginning. Again, he asks whether the nominee said women were better at some things, not worse. The nominee confirms, steady as before. It's a rhetorical flourish. Kennedy's way of signaling that he found no cracks in character nor clarity. The senator yields. Senator Whitehouse prepares his turn. The hearing moves on, but the exchange remains a telling snapshot of the confirmation process. The law, the politics, and the subtle performance intertwined. This has been a Capitol Pulse deep dive. If you want more sharp, balanced breakdowns of Washington's most revealing moments, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from the heart of American decision-making. Capitol Pulse, where power meets analysis.